go through this.
Naughty Dog Games. Where do I begin? 6 years. It's been 6 years since the publication of one of the most critically acclaimed video games of all time. 6 years that I've wanted to create this video, and by May 2020, 6 years that part 2 will have been in development. Before I begin, I want to state that this video will not be some sort of technical in-depth analysis of Naughty Dog's games, but the impact that their company, or more specifically, their game, has had on my life. It is also an expression of gratitude, a love letter if you will, in video format. Although it has been over 6 years, I still won't be able to articulate everything I want to say in this video. Because some things, they just need to be experienced in order to be understood. However, I shall do my best. Enjoy. The Last of Us was released on June 14, 2013 on the PlayStation 3, and was directed by two devilishly handsome men, Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann. Bruce left Naughty Dog by the end of 2016 following the development of Uncharted 4, the final game in what could arguably be one of the most notable franchises to be released on the PlayStation console. Neil is currently the Vice President of Naughty Dog and the lead director for the upcoming sequel, The Last of Us Part 2. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys, movies, deciding which shirt goes with which skirt. It's bizarre.
Get up. We're leaving.
And if I say no?
Do you even realize what your life means? Huh? Running off like that, putting yourself at risk? It's pretty goddamn stupid.
Well, I guess we're both disappointed with each other then.
What do you want from me?
Admit that you wanted to get rid of me the whole time.
Tommy knows this area
Oh,
better
fuck!
than... Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of? That I'm gonna end up like Sam? I can't get infected. I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
Well, we seem to be doing all right so far.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
I'm not her, you know.
What?
Maria told me about Sarah.
Ellie?
And
You are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. And we are going our separate ways.
The Last of Us was one of the most emotionally relatable video games that I had ever played. It was an uplifting, heart-wrenching, jaw-dropping, and overall just a beautiful experience. A roller coaster that I never want to get off of. There are so many elements that made The Last of Us so memorable, from all the technical aspects such as the art direction, character, and environment details, to general mechanics and the way AI responds to light, the player, and the environment. Keep in mind, many mechanics considered normal now in video games was pioneered from The Last of Us, creating a new standard for developers alike. But it was the deep attention to the narrative that truly sold the game. The storytelling that Neil and Bruce told in this game contains many themes. One of contrast, a juxtaposition between two opposing forces, one about love, loss, and redemption, one of companionship, but most notably, the one that stood out to me the most was to endure and survive.
To the edge of the universe and back. Endure and survive.
Excuse me?
Savage Starlight. That comic I've been reading, that's what the hero says after a big battle.
Endure and survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
A phrase coined by Savage Starlight a character from the comic books Ellie was reading, where the hero states to endure and survive after every battle. It doesn't take much to realize how true this quote is to our lives. Every single day, in every moment, humankind faces a new obstacle. Everyone has a hard life. The intensity varies depending on your upbringing and external circumstances. But at the end of the day, life is hard for everyone. No one has it easy, but we keep going. We endure and survive, and that's the thing about this game. Neil and Bruce truly want to create something real, something revolutionary. The authenticity of human life that was lacking in their prior games changed with The Last of Us. Changed the industry. In the beginning of this video, I stated I've wanted to create this video for nearly 6 years, the same amount of time since the release of The Last of Us. The issue was I didn't have the ability or even the vocabulary to properly express and articulate myself back in 2013. I pre-ordered the game, but I only made it a quarter way in playing after its initial release, till I gave up and quit after being unable to pass a level where I had to strategically maneuver my way through a dark, clicker-filled subway station. Fast forward a year later to the summer of 2014, before I began high school. Before the new school year, however, I decided to wipe the dust off my PS3 and restart The Last of Us.
You can try begging.
Fuck you.
You think you know me? Huh? Let me tell you something. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Ellie! Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
It's me! It's me! It's me! Look! Look! It's me.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay.
You see, although I was rather young when playing this game, I had felt something that I didn't expect to feel. For someone at my age at the time, I had gone through a lot of trauma, both mental and physical, had anger issues, I had trouble making friends, I was isolated from socialization in the early part of my childhood due to my overly cautious father. Our suburban neighborhood wasn't the best influence on me either. I would get bullied, misunderstood, and find myself repeating and going through the typical patterns you'd expect a child in my situation to go through. Even had a strong rebellious stage that hadn't peaked until mid-high school, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. I was playing games because I had no friends to play with. I was, as you'd expect, escaping. But the most ironic part of it all is that I was forced to face myself in the one place I thought I could escape. It was the humanity within The Last of Us that made me feel so emotionally conflicted. It wasn't the typical survival horror game I was expecting to play and waste my life away on. No, that was just a facade I had created within my mind. It was not even remotely horrific. What it was honest. It was real. It was the most relatable thing I had ever experienced on a television screen. The Last of Us made me feel grounded. I didn't feel like I was zoning out into another world. It was the beautifully written, careful attention, love, compassion, and care that Bruce, Neil, and the entire Naughty Dog team had given to Joel and Ellie that made me as attached as I was. It felt like this game was made for people like me. The mature nature and the way it was handled with such honesty and realism takes a lot of effort, time, and care, and I couldn't have been more proud to have played this game. Ever since then, I have played The Last of Us over 15 times, and each time I always managed to find myself astonished at discovering something new and different. The world, the moral dilemmas, the bonds created, the bonds severed, the trust earned, the natural progression of love, compassion, all built, creates such a raw and immersive experience that I've never truly been able to find anywhere else.
Don't scare it.
I won't.
What are you doing?
It's all right. Come here. Okay. Hurry up. Come on.
Hey there. So fucking cool. Aw, where's it off to? Here, come on, let's go.
Slow down, kiddo.
Come on.
After playing The Last of Us, I felt like I had grown more as an individual. I had been able to come to terms with many of the emotional and mental struggles a young man could deal with. The Last of Us was cathartic and felt like the best therapy session I could ever hope for. It was the catalyst in making me truly question a lot of my issues and what I can finally do to overcome it. It just made me a much better person, and honestly, what more could I ask for?
So, is this everything you were hoping for?
It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
Additionally, my passion for creativity and storytelling was sparked harder than ever, and in no time I had written so many scripts and game concepts that my laptop was filled with them. Ever since playing this game, I've wanted to be involved in video games in some way, and one of the ways I tried was through computer science. Unfortunately, my drive for computer science was dwindled by my teacher's methods, and I got bored rather quickly. I knew deep down I just wanted to be creative, to make a living off expressing myself through art, whether that be directing, acting, drawing, or simply storytelling. I knew I wanted to do something bigger than myself. It was around this time I began analyzing more mediums besides video games. I recall sitting in front of my laptop, attentively listening to interviews from Neil regarding storytelling, or Troy, Ashley, Nolan, Laura, along with many other voice actors on how to voice act. I used to spend so much time submitting cringe-worthy auditions on sites like Casting Call Club.
I am Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans! If you call me Veggie one more time, I swear I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
Or I would come up with amazing concepts for a story and would be up all night on Microsoft Word, typing away. Although I am currently still finding my way for a solid career, I can happily say that I know my passion. And for as long as I'm alive, I'll pursue that passion relentlessly. The community that this company has built has been magnificent, as I have managed to find and connect with so many people across the globe. Everyone I've met in this community has been amazing for the most part. There are numerous stories of people constantly helping each other out, from getting out of depression to changing their entire life circumstances completely. For the short amount of years I've been here, I've been lucky enough to have met people like that. People who genuinely care about one another. People who understand your world of suffering and therefore showing you that there's always a rainbow after the storm. Experiencing the story taught me the importance of individuality and gave not just me, but everyone, a reminder not to take life so seriously. When Ellie points out what society worried about prior to the infection, it gives us perspective on our world today. We worry so much about completely useless things that we forget what truly matters is right in front of us. The Last of Us taught me that no matter how dark it gets, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It showed me that we're never alone, and that there is always someone there suffering with us, even when we can't see it ourselves. We're born alone and we die alone, but we all suffer together. And there's a beauty in that. It's okay to be afraid of change, because change is not comfortable. Sometimes we choose to change, and sometimes we're forced to, but we all endure and survive, and that's a part of life. It's a part of being human. To this day, The Last of Us continues to leave many new players with the same impact as the rest of us. Players are still finding new things in this game, whether it has to do with the repeated dialogue or something interesting with the world and AI. This game accomplished what it set out to do and more. To the Naughty Dog team, I am eternally grateful for the amazing experiences your game has given to me. You guys took a giant leap and a risk going from Uncharted to this, and I, along with millions of others, have been positively impacted by the mastercraft storytelling you have created. We know you're working hard, and we look forward to anything else you guys cook up. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you.